Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of New Book Who Dis. I am your host, Death Metal Hero, and with me today is Scott Payne with Chaotic Flux number 3. What's the name of your publisher?
Sharp Edge Comics.
Sharp Edge Comics. Okay, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Scott Payne of, but that's the name of the comic book. So yeah, awesome. So awesome. Where do you get the name for your company?
I just something that came to me one day because I wanted a brand for my properties. I guess you would say a house, if you will.
Sure.
I was
Branding
actually kind of looking at getting picked up. I mean, I did try to get picked up Chaotic Flux at first, and I almost got picked up by what are they called? Something Lab, one of the Action Lab Comics. They almost picked it up, but then they're like, man, this book's too complex. We're not sure how to market it. I was like, all right. So
that shows a lack of imagination.
Yes. So then I decided to self-publish and go from there.
That's the way.
But yeah, Sharp Edge Comics just came to me one day. I was throwing around names, and I thought it sounded pretty cool.
Cool, man.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. So how you doing today on this fine Monday morning? How's the week
pretty good.
Off for you?
Not looking forward to the work week starting, but other than that, pretty good.
I
don't go back to work till Wednesday, so I got a couple.
Well, that's cool. At least you got one more
today.
day. Yeah. I do all kinds of freelance stuff, so I mean, nice. I technically always have the day off, but I technically am always working as well. So, I do freelance tech support when I'm not doing this. I do freelance illustration, all kinds of stuff. Constantly busy. So, always on the go. You're on issue 3 of this book. That's fantastic. How long has this story been cooking up in your brain? Like, how long has this... I mean, did it just all come to you at once, or is this something that's been building in your head for, like, years, little bits?
Years, yeah.
Nice.
It just came to me one day when I was about 18 years old. See, I'm 41 now, so it's been a while.
Oh wow! But, so this has been brewing for a long time.
Yeah. Well,
nice.
When I was 18, I had the want to make a team-based comic, and so I started tossing around ideas and trying to come up with characters and dynamics and storyline and all this stuff, and I started piecing together a few things but then I fell off of that for a while, did lots of other stuff, and then I came back to it, and it was back and forth for a long while, and then I built it up pretty well over the years, but I wanted certain things in the story, certain things that I love, that I've grown up with, and different genres and different like from different movies, comic books, video games, all these different things I love, and different TV shows, but I wanted to try to incorporate a lot of these elements, but also make it all work together. Not feel disjointed and too out of place and stuff like that. So that was like part of it too. Cohesion. It took a while to get it all to fit right and feel right. And then so let's see, what was it? 3 years ago? No. Where are we at? 2021? Yeah, 3 years ago.
Time begins
it was more like
after a while.
2017, I would say. I finally found had the last pieces to make it work. That I felt make it work. Also, over the couple years before that, my mind was really concentrating on figuring out a lot of it. Whereas before, I was distracted a lot by other things, and but I started, really putting it together, and then finally in 2018 or 2017, I got it, and I said, okay, I'm going to do this, and then, started putting together my my company and starting a website and getting the word out, getting artists and putting together art, and then in 2018 issue 1 came out.
It's a sweet poster, Christopher C. says.
Thank you.
Smartass also says fixing your mom's iPhone isn't tech support. Actually, she doesn't have an iPhone because no self-respecting tech support person would allow their mother to have an iPhone. She's got an Android. That way I can actually fix the fucking thing.
Right.
Instead of pitching it against the wall.
Right. There's so many, I got an iPhone right now. I decided to try it after having a couple Androids. And my wife has always had an iPhone, and she's had pretty good luck with them.
They work for some people.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But because
mine,
I work with
I'm starting to have
computers,
problems with it. And
they
it's really
drive
pissing
me
off.
nuts.
Yeah.
Like I have an old MacBook. I learned how to do graphic design on a MacBook and on a Mac and a PC, so I can operate on both just fine. Being that I work in tech support, trying to fix something on a Mac is, as my grandfather would say, trying to reach around your ass to grab your elbow. Because of their closed architecture, you have to do this, to do that, to do this, to do that, to unlock this, to do that. And it's just like, can I just open a fucking... Yeah, so it's frustrating.
Sorry, man.
Yeah. Anyway, comic books. I like comics. This is why I do this, because I can then talk about comics and get away from the tech support. Of course,
comic books.
The last what was it? Friday regen cycle on Red Valkyrie. Trying to pop into the chat, and for some reason my laptop will not pop up the thing that says allow and share microphone and camera. No idea why. Try every browser I have.
Yeah. Okay, so you did try. Like you tried Chrome.
Tried Brave. I was in Chrome. Tried Brave. Tried Firefox. None of it fucking worked.
Weird.
I literally had to set up another rig, which I'm now streaming on, so I could get into the stream.
That's crazy,
and
dude.
I just opened up the laptop. I literally just looked at it for the first time today because I was pissed at it. Yeah. So occasionally the tech support does bleed over into this life as well. But so what are you reading currently, man? Any cool books that you're reading that's that's jumping out at you? Anything
it's been a while since I sat down and read something since I started the campaign. I've been concentrating on
I just got my Johnny Phantasm 1985. Nice. I got to reach out to Pat and see if he wants to come do a What's in the Box. Looking forward to that.
The last book I was reading was what was it? Downcast, the second issue. I got that. I read that. And
Clint's great.
And then I was reading some old X-Men back issues for a little bit there, catching up on some stuff.
Man, I tell you what, in the shop we sell a lot of back issues.
Oh, you got a shop? That's cool, man. I didn't know that.
I work in a shop. Yeah, I work in my childhood comic shop. I've been shopping there since I was 10. Vanessa's known me since I was a wee little lad. I used to sneak out of class because there's a church a parking lot away, so I used to sneak out on lunch, go pick up my comics and come back, hide them in my backpack. Yeah, because I knew if I saw them, I'd never see the fuckers again because comics are the devil. DEVIL, devil.
So anyway. Did you have? I guess you had adults when you were a kid saying that stuff. Is that what you said?
Oh, yeah.
I remember me and my buddy, we used to collect and play Magic the Gathering. And
those are the devil's cards.
Yeah, his grandmother, man, she would say that all the time, and she actually took.
But Grandma, they look so badass.
He had hundreds of dollars worth of cards. Didn't tell her. Took them one day, or didn't tell him. Took them one day, threw them in the trash. That was it. Yep, threw them all in the trash. So hundreds of dollars worth of cards.
Hold up. What year was this? What year was this travesty?
I want to say that was 99, 2000, somewhere around there.
Wow. So were they OG cards? Like were the original?
Yeah, yeah. Like this was, this is before they even did. Well, this is before like bootlegs were, pretty common as far as I know. We all had original. We had bought them, out of the packages and everything, legit cards. And he had some really rare ones. I know he had one that was worth at least like $100, $150.
So like just legit like early '90s Magic cards that Grandma just willy-nilly pitched out because they were evil.
It was a long box too, so it was probably 1,000, 2,000 cards she just tossed out.
My grandmother tossed out my dad's Ghost Rider. He had Ghost Rider number 1 through 7. of the original series.
Mm.
I don't remember how many were in the original series, but yeah, he was getting them for a little while. And, you know, because it's a dude with it's a skull it's on fire, and he's on a motorcycle. He's
a demon.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he is a demon, but he's tasked with, you know, taking the demons back to hell. So
right, and punishing the wicked.
Yeah, exactly. Penance stare and all that. Well, of course, that came later, but yeah, I don't know. Grandma just doesn't get it. My grandma doesn't get it either.
Yeah.
Want to be famous? Fuck no, I don't want to be famous. I just want to make good comics. Fuck off.
Nothing like some spam in your chat.
Really? I'm gonna block this shit if I can figure out how.
Mm-hmm.
At any rate, whatever. Twitch. Huh. What's going on, Jay Money? Where you been, fool? I ain't seen you in a hot damn minute. Like, just pop in and say hey, and then just disappear. Trying to be all mysterious and shit. Anyway.
It's like a ninja.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I've been, God, what have I been reading? Not a whole lot. Because I haven't had a whole lot of time.
Yeah, that's my problem.
The last thing that I read that I got crowdfunding wise, I think was Chrono Mechanics. That was really good. Did you get that from Art T Bear?
No, I almost got it, but yeah, I didn't get that one.
Yeah. See, cool. I have found that if I don't schedule time to like sit down and read, I never get any time to read. Like I never get any time to play video games.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
But it's always like if I'm sitting down to play video games or, you know, read a comic or something like that, I feel like, well, there's something I should be doing. I should be, you know, working on the book. I should be working on the channel. I should be, you know, not stealing all my content from the internet.
Right. Well, some of that too, like the way I kind of look at it, you know, or try to look at it is, it's also feeding in, you know, to, you know, your future creations as well, because, you know, everything's inspiration or can be inspiration, you know. So
that's true. You know, and you can't just go
as a writer, the better, you know, or as a storyteller, you know, the more you're gonna absorb and use that to your advantage.
Well, and, you know, recharging the battery. You know, you got to take a break. You've got to let your mind take a break. I mean, I found this amazing quote by Da Vinci that I had apparently posted forever ago on Facebook, and it popped up again. So let me bring it up. I mean, and it's something about going away. Like, you know, sometimes you gotta go away. Let's see, where is it? I downloaded it. I fucking know I did. There it is. It says, every now and then, go away. Have a little relaxation for when you come back to your work. Your judgment will be sure. Go some distance away, because then the work appears smaller, and more of it can be taken in at a glance. Leonardo da Vinci.
Nice.
Now, I'm sure somebody will pop up from the internet. Well, actually, he died. It's not what he said or whatever.
I mean, that works for me too. Like sometimes when I'm trying to figure out something, like in a story with a character, or, you know, work out a certain scene, how to make it work, and sometimes I can't quite get it. So I'll do that. I'll step away for a little bit. I'll go watch something, or, you know, go out and hang out with some friends or whatever, and then. Absolutely. And then sometimes you either come to me then when I'm doing the other thing, or you know, afterwards, and like, okay, got it now, you know, and I sit down and start doing, continuing on.
Start working
on. You know,
on.
like I was saying too, you never know where you find inspiration. Sometimes just driving to work, I get ideas. I'm like, holy shit, that's badass. I got to write that down. You know.
Absolutely. You know, and like you said, you never know where inspiration will come.
Mm-hmm.
So, tell us what the inspiration for Chaotic Flux is. Where does the idea? I mean, like you said, you wanted to add everything that you liked. Do you mean everything?
A lot of it? Yeah, a lot of it. There was some stuff that
I mean, I see big monsters.
Work, but I got other, you know, IPs, other ideas I'm working on too for more of that stuff. But I want to get a lot of like really big cool things that I'm a big fan of in this book, and as you know, it started out that way too. But then as I'm making these characters, as I'm writing these characters, developing their backstories and their
Mm-hmm.
connections and their lives. A lot of creators, or I would think every creator, you start to become attached to them. You start to really, you're like, wow, I love this character now. I'm so proud that I have made this character and made this world. And um, but I mean,
It's
it could be
hard. It's
just because it's
great.
yours. You could just be biased of your own creation. But
Right.
I
Well, I
feel
mean,
like
and you spend a lot of time
I've
with these
yeah,
people.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
They become real, and
yeah.
that's what happens with like real characters that have an arc,
hmm
characters that feel like real people. I mean,
And ones you can
that's
relate to as well. Yeah.
exactly.
hmm
And that's the problem with a lot of what's out there. You know, in the mainstream. And I see it.
hmm
It's there. It's flat.
hmm
It comes across as, I don't know, tinny, and I don't know. I don't know where it comes from. It's just like, my guess is like the young adult fiction, like the young adult fiction was allowed to slide because, oh, it's just for kids.
Right.
But I think that's a very poor attitude to have, because if we feed our kids junk food
Right.
media, they're
Right.
going to grow up thinking that junk food media is high quality,
hmm
and then they're going to reproduce it later.
Right.
So I feel like that's why we've got such mediocre schlock right now, with a few exceptions.
Right.
You
Once in a
know,
while, but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But that's why indie. You know,
Yep.
that's why indie. There's these heartfelt stories there. Of people that very much have loved comics for
hmm
many, many a moon.
hmm Yeah, I fell in
So
love with
who
comics when I
is
was 8 years old. I think it was the first time I really started getting into them. So yeah,
yes.
lifelong passion.
Same, same. My dad got me 3 comics when I
Mm,
was 3 years old.
wow,
He got me Spider-Man, Batman, and the Fantastic Four,
nice.
and I
That's a good
couldn't
start
I
off.
couldn't actually read them. Yeah, I
Wow.
thought so.
hmm
I mean, once I went back and thought about it later, I was like, well, dang, Dad, good job, man. Thanks.
Hell yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I couldn't actually read them when I got them,
Right,
because I was
right,
3.
right.
But my mom was teaching me how to read with flashcards,
Mm,
and because I saw like the same funny shapes on my comics, and I was motivated to learn how to read because I knew that they
hmm
were saying something. I could kind of tell what was going on,
Right, yeah,
but
because
I
a
wanted,
good
yeah,
storytelling of, I mean, a comic book, a good artist, I should say, can
yeah,
tell a pretty good story just through the art itself. But yeah, the
absolutely.
dialogue definitely helps too,
Well,
especially the more
it
complex the
changes
story
the
you're
story
telling.
a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it gives you a bit more.
hmm
But so who is this character that I'm looking at right here?
That's Zathara, and
Safara.
she's an
Nice.
alien hybrid, and she can form these crystal-like structures at will. Like you see her there where she's doing that flip.
Yeah.
She's made these kind of blade arms. She does that often. You'll see her do that in series. That's kind of like her
Cool.
go-to a lot. But she'll also, for instance, make like throwing daggers,
Yeah.
big axe-like weapons as well. She'll also make weaponry for her teammates at times,
Oh
depending on whatever the
wow.
situation calls for. So she's pretty
So she's quite
adaptive.
handy to have
Yeah,
around.
yeah, yeah. And she's kind of like my rogue character. So she's real fast. She's acrobatic. Like her, she's doing that flip, and
Yeah.
she'll just kind of do like these crazy spins, and all
Quite
of a sudden her
partial to
arms turn into
rogues.
blades, and she slices things up
Yeah.
and that kind of
Nice.
stuff. Yeah, and she's also pretty sneaky. You'll see that later, a little more in the series, where she has more opportunities to show that off. And she's very much a lone wolf type character. She's been hunted down most of her life by an organization called the Order of the Purging Hand, who's been trying to wipe her kind out for years. They they're an organization of mercenaries that their order believes that anything not of this world should exist. So they've been, like I said, been hunting her down. So this and also other things in her life. A lot of people just don't understand her, don't uh, are afraid of her because they know some of her species do have powers and can be dangerous, similar to the X-Men, if you will. So she's been,
Hmm.
ridiculed and hated a lot in her life. So she's the number of people that she actually cares about her and that she actually trusts and cares back for because of that. She can count on one hand, pretty much. So she's this kind of tragic character I came up with. and she's a born warrior. Well, she's born into being a warrior. Ever since she was a child, she's thrust into this, constant survival kind of situation. And through that, she's forced to learn how to adapt and think on her feet, and hold her own, if you will. And like I said, she's very distrusting of others. So as the series goes on, she will have to learn how to. That too. She's very self-reliant because she's had to become self-reliant over the years. But that's part of the dynamic with her and the rest of the team, is that she will have to learn how to, accept help from others, and use, utilize that, because she'll and also, figure out how to, trust and also want to help the others.
Right.
She learns pretty early on that this new world that she's thrust into.
Wow.
She's she definitely needs, a pick me up. All the team members, come to learn that they all have to rely on one another in order to survive in this new dark world with these horrible monsters taking over.
Horrible monsters like this guy here.
He is.
Who
well, in a
this?
sense, that's Lieutenant Vladek. He is a member of the Order of the Purging Hand, and the leader of the Order of the Purging Hand is Thrax's Prime. We see him in issue 2, some, but so
I dig the design. Very Deathlock.
Yes, I wanted to go for this kind of Frankenstein cyborg design for these guys.
For sure.
And Lieutenant Vladek is Thrax's Prime's like right-hand man, and but Thrax's Prime. So there's a incident that will happen in issue 4. It'll show his backstory, how he becomes a cyborg, and he becomes a cyborg though through this nanotech that the or the Purging Hand has designed and decided to turn him into a weapon with it. Well, he learns how to adapt it and use it to his advantage, where he can control it and he can infect others and turn them into cyborgs. So he decides one day to take over the organization, reshape it in the way he thinks it should be, and he turns all of his soldiers into cyborgs against their will, including Lieutenant Vladek.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So he's kind of like his cyborg slaves to do his bidding.
That seems like a surefire way to get an army that will usurp you as soon as they get the opportunity.
Right. Well, that's the thing though too. Like I said, he can control you with the nanotech. So
right.
It's.
I mean, code can always be overwritten. Seriously. Code can always be overwritten. Yeah.
But I thought it was a fun dynamic, and you're going to
cool.
see some really cool stuff coming up with these guys, especially with Thrax's Prime as we get more into him. He's kind of like a, I guess like if you would like the Ultron or the Apocalypse kind of in the storyline a little bit.
Okay.
In terms of that, like what he's capable of. But he's not the main baddie. The main baddie comes later on. That's going to be my Thanos. That's Malachar. He's pretty damn powerful. But he comes a little ways down the line.
The tease before the main event.
Yeah.
All right, I got you.
Yeah, I got a lot going on. So that's one of the things. That's one of the tricky things of this series. Is like, okay, how much do I give them now, and how much do I wait for later? Because I'm peeling back the layers, here as we go along, and trying to overload people too much. Although sometimes I worry I've already got a lot in it as it is, but other people tell me no, it's good, just keep going. I'm like, okay.
Well, I mean, if you get a like an even split, you're pretty good to go. Yeah. Yep. So. Who is this? Is this
that is Strife. So I'm a big fan of big robots and like Transformers and Gundam and that sort of thing. And I wanted a big cool robot in this series, and he's able to self-engineer. So anything that he finds that he can utilize, he can, mechanical wise, like wiring and things like that, he can rebuild it into whatever he needs. And he can also transform into different things. So he can turn into like a ship mode to transport the team around in. He can make all kinds of different types of weaponry. He's like a big backup unit for the team. And the leader of the Crimson Flame, actually say the team name is the Crimson Flame. They come to be known as that. And the leader is Soren, and he and Soren become pretty good buddies. Strife is learning, how to relate to humans more, and through Soren, he helps them out with a lot of that, and they form the really good buddy relationship, and
Nice.
Because
And this is Soren?
Strife is actually designed as a protector of humanity by the military. So he already, has a lot in his programming how to, interact with humans and how to treat them and stuff. But, he's still learning a lot as he goes along as well. But yeah, the guy you were just on, that Soren, he's the leader of the Crimson Flame. He's actually a exosuit pilot. He's ex-military, and he was a test pilot, exosuit test pilot in the military. Mm-hmm. And now in the present time, his grandfather is actually a weapons designer for the military, and he designed the suit called the Reaper for him. It's a design or a redesign of another or more mass-produced exosuit, but the Reaper is a prototype that he had made, and he made it with his grandson in mind. And in the storyline, you'll see the Soren gets the suit, and he uses that as his prime weapon to fight all the awful baddies in this new future. But it's full of all kinds of great weaponry. Awesome. It's got like these crazy tentacle things that come out of the back with blades, and the arms transform into weapons. And he's got a really cool energy shield that you'll see in this issue. I don't want to say too much, but there's a lot of big surprises in the suit. There's some really cool weaponry.
You're doing good, giving backstory.
Yeah.
This is great.
Thanks.
So this is like hardcore sci-fi, fantasy adventure. This is awesome. Mm-hmm. So how many issues do you have planned for this? Because you're on issue 3 now.
Mm-hmm. Wow, look at that cover. I've been saying as much as 50, honestly. But it could be less than that. Oh,
wow. So this is a space epic.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Like I said, I got some new baddies that I'm going to coming in the storyline. I also got some more heroes coming in. Eventually, we get 6 members of the Crimson Flame. There's going to be a 8-foot-tall swordsman named Gyarados. He has a giant transforming sword. And then there's also Nilaria, who is a fire-based mage, and her father, Pagan, who's a plant-based mage. Wow. And they're actually the sister and father of Gabriel, who Gabriel becomes inhabited by Malachar, that dark entity I was telling you about, and turns him into this kind of ultimate dark sorcerer that the team will have to deal with later in the storyline. So a lot of big stuff.
That's awesome.
Thank you. And I got
curios.
Huge crazy battles coming, big epic like monster battles, and all kinds of crazy stuff I want to put in the series. And that's one of the things too, like I love stories with big action, but I also like big dark drama too, big twists and turns. So
sure,
this series definitely is going to have a lot of the first 3 issues have a good amount too. Yep. And I like like big crazy surprises, and I love stories that have that. So I've got a lot of really cool, really big, crazy dark story ideas for this storyline for sure. So
this critter's pretty wild.
Yeah, that's what I call the Super Dreadfiend or the Mega Dreadfiend. He's actually so the Dreadfiends themselves, they can mutate. They can self-mutate. They were designed as a food source for humanity in the future, to sustain the human race, which is now being
I said, "Oh Lord!"
Yeah, and they were very docile, very easy to control. They're actually kind of cutesy-ish when they start out. You'll get that in issue 5. I'm going to start laying out their origin story, but they like I said, they're designed as a food source to sustain humanity in this dark future where a lot of cataclysmic world events have happened due to the environment, but also due to wars, humanity fighting over land and food source or resources. And these creatures, they start to self-mutate and develop this insatiable appetite because they are constantly evolving and mutating. So they need something to sustain themselves, and that is constantly eating. They have to constantly feed. And so they turn against humanity, start eating the human race and anything else they can get a hold of. And when they feed on something, they can use that as a biofuel to mutate on the fly. They will break it down really quickly and then utilize that, make themselves bigger, stronger, wings for flight, for instance.
Wow.
where they need to get the upper hand in battle. And that guy right there, we're seeing, he actually ate a bunch of stuff over the last 2 issues, and then he mutated into this big super version.
Damn. That's pretty cool. There's all kinds of stuff in this book. Yep. This is awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, this issue kicks off where Zathara is now having to face off against this thing in a big epic battle, trying her best to outsmart it before it crushes her.
Nice.
And I designed this guy as a kind of like a boss battle in video games, where like a lot of times on the big bosses you'll fight on them, and there's moments in this issue like you're seeing there where she's on top of it and it's trying to take her out while she's trying to fight the tentacles off of her and stuff.
Very cool. Kaiju, like big monster battle, it's fun stuff. I mean, whether you're playing a tabletop RPG or a video game, if done properly, a big monster fight is always fun.
Oh yeah.
This is great, man. So tell me about your artist.
Okay. That's Brian Belando. He's actually from the Philippines, and he's done a good amount of books. I can't think of anything that the CG crowd will know of, but I found him just from I put out like a job search, if you will, artist search on
that's awesome
on DeviantArt and other like forums and stuff, and he was one of the applicants, and I really digged his style. It reminded me a lot of like a 90s style, but also has a modern twist to it, and so I said, okay, you're my guy.
That's great.
And the colorist is Brian McNahee. Yeah. The colorist is Brian McNahee, and he's done he's been around a little bit. Like he did what was that game or that comic? Ravage, Kill All Men, which was a pretty big CG book a while back. And he's actually friends. He's friends with Brian Belando. And he recommended him to me, and I looked at his colors, and I said, "Wow, you're awesome, man! Yeah, let's do this." And they did other projects together too. So they work pretty well together.
Oh yeah. Okay, so they've worked together before. Awesome. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've definitely got. There's a synergy going on because sometimes if the colors aren't done properly, they can kind of override the artwork.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like kind of drown it out, and. That's definitely not happening here.
Well, I kind of tend to challenge them some too. I like to play with visuals a lot. Like there where you're saying, "Hey, Cyborg Valkyrie," and
they say they love the look of the book.
Thank you.
Hey, Cy, thanks for coming to hang out.
That shot right there with all the yellow around Zasara. That's actually how the Dreadfiends see. So it's looking at her as she's trying to take it out. Yeah. Nice. I like playing with stuff like that. You'll see that too in issue 2 if you do pick up issue 2. For those who didn't get issue 1 or 2, you can totally do that in this campaign. So I did make that an option for you.
That's awesome because I had not heard about this until after the end of your last campaign.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so it's cool. It was cool when you reached out to me. I was like, sweet. So now I can find out all the skinny on this. Excellent. Yeah, man, it's beautiful. I love the covers. The covers are great.
Yeah, it's so much fun designing covers.
The colors on this one are just they're popping. Mm-hmm. I mean, the colors on all of them are popping, but this one in particular, it's just fantastic, man.
Yeah, there's the Reaper right there I was talking about earlier. So that's Soren's exosuit.
Cool. Yeah. All right. The design kind of reminds me of Brass a little bit. The old Image comic, you remember?
Oh, back in the day? Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's very cool, man. That's fun. Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about Brass, but I mean, he was kind of how I do my designs is like I tell my artists, kind of what I'm going for, but also I'll find different elements of different, like for him, for instance, I found different robot designs, like pieces, like shoulder designs and head design and all these things. And I say, okay, well, like this part on it, I like this part here and there and there. Yeah. Can you do something along these lines of this kind of design? And then he kind of basically throws it into a blender and then pulls out this
that's awesome
awesome thing, and I'm like, yeah, that's it, that's good.
That'll totally
I love
work.
it.
Thank
I love
you.
it.
Yeah, awesome. Man, you've got so much great artwork on the campaign page here. This is great. This is fantastic to see. You get a nice sample of the comic.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is this the same? Is this a different artist?
No, it's same artist. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah. He's So I don't have any plans to change him. So until pretty much he's my guy. I think until he's says, okay, I gotta move on to other stuff. But
right.
So far he's loving it. Like that's one of the things he jumped onto this book a lot of, because he loves drawing monsters and big robots and crazy action and stuff. So yeah,
that's awesome.
He's loving every moment of it.
Ooh, additional perks, metallic cover, original edition. Oh wow! Actually, let's take a look at your perks up here.
Okay.
Scroll all the way. You know what? There we go. Much better. Okay. So your featured perk here is the collector's package. So what are we getting here?
So in the collector's package, you can get the regular edition, the PDF, but you can also get your choice of metallic cover. There are 3 versions to choose from in this campaign. You can get the regular edition, so it's the logo and everything on it. It's just the original edition, but in a metallic cover. There's also the Virgin variant, so that's just the artwork, no logo or anything like that on there, just the clean artwork. And then there's also a metallic line art variant, and so that's just the line art with the silver background. And the metallic actually has, though, I'm going with the same metallic effect I did on issue 2's metallic edition. And it has an iridescent to it, so when you move it in the light, it changes color as a rainbow effect. It's pretty badass.
Does that whole shimmer thing.
Exactly. So particularly with the Virgin line art edition, I think it's going to look. I mean, I think they're all going to look great, but that one I think is really going to stand out with that silver background, and then changing colors over it when you move it in the light. Awesome. But then you also get 2 regular trading cards, character trading cards. One is of Lieutenant Vladek, and the other one's of the Super Dreadfiend. You also get a art print of the cover art, and there's also 2 metallic trading cards. So it's a metallic version of the standard trading cards, and then you also get a metallic art print. Yeah,
all for $50.
All for $50.
Goodness. Yep. All right, so to recap.
And if you want to add on issue 1 or 2, any of the physical tiers, you can do that. So,
how much are the single issues to add on?
I think there's 7 each. Yeah,
great.
I think there's 7 each.
Nice. Hell yeah, that's a hell of a deal.
And that doesn't. I mean, I think it depends on how much you add on, because there's other things you can add on too, but. Like if you got that package and then you get issue 1 and 2, it doesn't add on the shipping.
Okay, so the shipping stays. You're just paying shipping for all of it.
Yeah,
together.
it's like a certain weight you get to. Yeah, if you get like above that, then it starts adding on the shipping. But just the 2 books added on, it won't bump it up.
That's great. And so it says it's 30 pages long here. That's awesome. What are we? I'm guessing coded stock. I mean, instead of like for newsprint.
Yeah. It's like it's more like a thicker. Yeah.
Well, I mean, just because newsprint. I mean, the stuff that I get from Alterna is so cool, and you can do a lot with newsprint. So a lot of people have been playing around with newsprint. So that's why I ask. I mean, these colors
to
pop.
See. Maybe I have to look around more, but I haven't seen a printer that does newsprint yet that I've just stumbled on.
It's kind of a niche thing.
And actually, I was wondering, too. Well, what if I get into Alterna? If the book gets an Alterna, do I want it in newsprint? And I'm like, I think I wouldn't mind it, But
oh, dude,
I'm still pretty happy with the book that's turned out so far, doing my own thing.
Oh, absolutely. But to get it in shops like that. I mean, because that's what Clint did.
Oh yeah,
you know,
yep.
he broke
Yep,
down Downcast, and I think that's a great idea. He's opened so
many doors for himself.
Yeah. No, it's a great idea. That's fantastic. All right, so and then I'll just get a PDF for $5. That's awesome. And then unsigned for 10, and then you could add on the other 2. Signed for 15. All right, now we're getting into the metallic cover options.
So
you got something for every budget level here.
Yeah, and the way we worked it out too, as we were building the figuring out the numbers and how to do the tiers as we climb up. You actually, the more you get, the more you save, really. Yeah. So like by the time you get to the last tier, I think it's like $150. Really, that tier should be a lot closer to 200, but we give it to you for 150.
Awesome.
Yeah. So and there's a package too. There's one where you can get all 3 metallic covers. So if you don't want to choose, I think that one's $60. Yeah, that one right there. You get
metallic
all 3
variants
of them.
Package.
Yep. So you don't have to choose on that one. There's also the metallic overload package where you get all 3 covers, the metallic trading cards, and the metallic art print in that one.
Just a whole bunch of metal.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah,
Ooh,
big fan of metallic.
Yes, T-shirt edition.
Yep. That one you get the T-shirt, and I had the proof of the T-shirt, if you will, the sample, and it turned out great.
Excellent.
The T-shirt is the cover
like?
art.
It
it's the cover art with the Cat Flux logo on it. So you get that awesome cover work on your chest.
So this right here?
Yep.
Ooh, very nice. I do enjoy T-shirts. I'm quite a big fan of screen printed T-shirts.
You can add on. Yeah, I'm a big T-shirt guy too, man. I drive my wife crazy sometimes. I go to the store and especially go to Hot Topic or whatever. I got to do what they got. Especially if they got a sale, man. If they have good ones, a lot of times here lately they don't have very good ones, but sometimes they got some really good stuff. But also, if you want, one of the things I did, with the last 2 campaigns, the T-shirt was locked in the top tier. And some people didn't want to get the whole shebang; they just wanted like the book and the T-shirt or something,
right.
A few things in the T-shirt. So this time I decided to give more options in that way. So you can add on the T-shirt. There's a T-shirt in this campaign, a hat, and a face mask. You can add on any of those 3 items and any of the physical tiers.
Awesome.
So even if you want the unsigned, $10 copy of issue 3,
right.
and you want the T-shirt, you can totally do that.
That's great, man. That I'm sure people appreciate the flexibility on that. Because being able, actually, there was a campaign recently that I was going back and I was like, so T-shirt add-on, because I see it there, but I want these. I want this in the variant cover, but in the T-shirt. But Indiegogo will not let me do it. Why? Oh. So yeah, I know I personally appreciate flexibility like that.
Yeah, myself too.
This is a crazy good package here too. 6x10 metallic art print. So this is kind of like your featured one, but it also gives you a T-shirt. That's sweet. Okay, hat edition, nice. Okay, Flux Light. So that's the this is the issue 3 autographed, and then the hat, the mask, and the T-shirt. Nice. I like the tiers, man.
Thanks.
I mean,
sometimes I worry it's too much, but other people are like, "Man, I'm glad you gave so many options." I'm like, that's what I was going for.
Yeah. that's one thing I was going to say. There are a lot of them, but I mean, I don't know. It's kind of stair steps, It gives people a chance, like, okay. But that's one of the things I like about, and I whenever I do one of these shows, I always bring up Brian Polito. Like my dude Brian, he resurrected Lady Death by kickstarting, by doing crowdfunding, and
so awesome.
It was
so cool to see him do that.
And he started little, First campaign was only like $40,000. He reinvested it, made another book, and just kept hustling. But his campaigns, they always have a bunch of tiers. There's a bunch of stair steps all the way up to like the big balla stuff, But because he wants his fans, his fiends, to be able to, of all levels be able to get in on it, feel like they got something, feel good about it. You know, so
Good way of looking at it.
It's there is too much, but I feel like you did a pretty good job breaking these down and stair-stepping them up, you know.
Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Seeing you've got the commissioned art. No kidding.
Yep. Brian will hand draw you, not digital. He will hand draw you any cartoon or comic book character of your choice. And he will sign it and then ship it to you. And that $250, that includes shipping, so it's not shipping on top of that.
That's great.
So you get original piece of art, hand drawn by him.
What size?
The comic book size.
Yeah.
2.7
by 11. Yeah, hand drawn piece of art. Yeah, doing it at comic size is good because you can then put it in a Gemini mailer and ship it very safely and securely. Yeah,
especially for something like that, you don't get beaten up.
This is awesome. What the hell are you doing, computer? All right. Who's a great guy? Pete? Is that? And since I'm only working with one monitor now, I have to juggle windows back and forth. So I can kind of see the chat. Like I'll see when it bumps up, but not always. But yeah. Wow. Yeah, great. You know what? I wonder. No, I guess I was going to say if I make the window bigger, I might be able to see this double page spread together. Because that's a hell of a creature right there. These are the things before it got super huge.
If you scroll up, go up. Yeah, there's the whole thing right there.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I just split up so you can see all the detail on the next two.
Very cool
sections.
Now this is great, man. It's the book looks beautiful.
Thanks.
Definitely.
Yeah, so much fun making this book.
Well, it sounds like it. Well, you guys got any questions for Scott in the audience there? We actually had to bump this up an hour early because Fraga is going to be going live at 8:30 with Shelby Robertson, and I wanted to make sure that we actually had an audience for this awesome looking book. So I appreciate you guys being here, hanging out with us this evening.
Thanks for being here with us.
Yeah. So, I know you said you had 50 issues of this, theoretically in your head. Are there spin-offs that you have in your head, or is this just like?
I play with that idea a little bit, but I'm not sure yet. It kind of depends on how much I can build up with something like that.
Sure.
Right now I'm just kind of focused on. Well, as far as this story, I'm focused on it. I got some other IPs I want to put together eventually too, but
yeah. See, that was my question. Are there other IPs? Because I know.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant spin-offs from Chaotic Flux.
Well, yes, spin-offs from Chaotic Flux, yes, right. Because I mean you have this epic story in mind, right. But as creatives, we always got other ideas. You're not just a sci-fi guy. Obviously, you like fantasy type stuff. I mean, you said she's a rogue, and I'm very partial to rogues. I played a rogue.
Yep, those are my favorites to play too.
Quite a few campaigns. Rogue's motto: "I will stab you in the back, in the face."
There you go. Yeah. My favorites are rogues, necromancers, and big badass warriors like giant swords and stuff like that.
Sure.
The types of characters I like to make in like RPGs and stuff.
Just a healer with bad timing. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, you don't just have one genre. So yeah, there's got to be other stories that you want to tell outside of this.
The next book I decided that I want to do is I actually just finished making the logo the other day, and I thought it turned out pretty badass. But it's Berserker Samurai is the next one I'm looking at making.
All right.
And the main influence behind it is and the things I'm throwing into the milling pot to put it all together and work out the story and everything is Berserk, the anime and the manga Berserk.
Yeah.
Spawn,
Nice.
God of War, and Ninja Scroll. Those are the 4 main influences on it.
Wow. I mean, those are yeah, that's those are pretty good things to draw from.
It's gonna be
I am
big,
quite fond of pretty much
badass,
all of those.
crazy monster battles, like really.
See, I've
epic stuff
actually
I'm going
never
for.
read Berserk, and I've never watched the anime either. Michael Odin, actually.
I've seen a good amount of the anime. I've been meaning to I've read some of the manga. I've been meaning to read more of that. But like I said, I'm a big fan of characters, the crazy, like warrior types.
Yeah.
And berserkers are all my favorite types of characters. But and I thought it'd be interesting to make a samurai that
because samurai is kind of the antithesis. I mean,
right.
That's why it worked with Wolverine.
Right.
His samurai versus his animal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's gonna have that dynamic to it. Nice. But the main hero, he's gonna be thrust into this whole situation where he has to let go. Of holding back his rage and learn how to utilize it as a weapon to overcome his someone said samurai.
Samurai?
Yep. Berserker
yes.
samurai.
Berserker samurai. Very cool. That sounds like a fun concept.
Yeah,
definitely would be fun to play with.
Yep.
Mixing of mythos, as it were. Well, guys, if you don't have any questions for Scott, we're going to go ahead and wrap up here. I want to thank you all so much for coming to hang out. And the link is in the chat because good old Frog G has been here hanging out. Yeah. Link Slinger Extraordinaire. So nice. I appreciate it.
Definitely.
I like it a samurai, Curios says. Yes, yes, indeed.
Yeah, I'm going to show the logo here soon, and that's kind of the first I guess teaser, if you will, for it. But it's a little ways off. Like I think it's probably going to be something that I'll put out or I'll kick off the campaign either late this year or early next year. It's still pretty early on. Like I said, I still got to find the artist and write the script and all that fun stuff. And I'm also right now in the process of figuring out whether I want to do it like Chaotic Flux, where it's episodic or a graphic novel, because it's not going to be something really long like Chaotic Flux. I want it to be really impactful, but also short and sweet. So it's if I do it I should say trades, if you will, not trades. What I'm looking for. Singles, it would be like five issues. Yeah, floppies. It'd be like 5 issues.
5 issue mini. Yeah.
So I'm looking about 100, 150 pages for the whole thing. Yeah.
Well, I mean, sometimes stories don't need to be, this epic continuation. I think.
Right. Exactly.
I think a lot of times,
which I enjoy those a lot too.
Sure. Sometimes it's a lot of fun to really sink into a very long story, like the Dresden Files, for instance. I really love that book series. But 14 books, that is a lot of time to sink into. Sometimes it's nice to just have a little quick story, like the original Wanted. You ever read that?
Yeah.
Quick little 6 issue mini.
Yep.
Yeah. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna say it's funny though, because like Chaotic Flux, right at the time at the moment, I'm not sure if it'll have like spinoffs and stuff like that, but I actually. So far, the main story of Berserker Samurai, it's become something I could easily do more stuff with in the future. Like how how Spawn is, where there's different spawns throughout time.
Different versions. So totally.
I've actually I didn't even mean to write it that way. I'm like, wow, okay, I could do a lot more with this. All right, that's cool. That's cool. That's awesome. Unintentionally.
Yeah. Hey man,
because a lot of it's about the sword. A lot of it's about the sword in the storyline, and it's just right now what happens in this first storyline is, it's about this hero who gets the sword and gives him all these amazing powers, and I can easily the sword can survive and another hero can take it on in another timeline. So
sure. Yeah, it's then it becomes a mantle. Yeah, and that gives you time to play with, you know, which is always fun. I mean, if used properly, it can really enhance a story. Sometimes time travel specifically can be a crutch, but time, if used properly, can be, you know, a really potent, you know, addition. You know, it can really make like a story point impact. You know, like time slipped away. You know, time missed. You know, a character is taken out of time. Captain America.
Right.
You know, I don't know. Time has always been one of those things that's been fun for me to explore in stories. And I always appreciate it when it's really well done. And it really bugs the shit out of me when it's not poorly done. It's like...
Yeah, some of these time travel movies you're watching, I'm like, how does that make sense?
What? Yeah. I'm suspending my disbelief, but I don't know. I'm willing to roll with this until this is, you know, too dumb for me to follow. You know, but I mean, sometimes you learn a lot from the bad books that you read. You know, you learn more from those because you're like, well, damn, I'd do this like this, and that would be a hell of a lot better, at least to me. I'm sure there's a bunch of people out there that would, you know, think the same. But, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I guess I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. I want to thank everybody for coming to hang out. Scott, thanks for coming to hang out here, man.
Thank you so much for having me, man. It's been
absolutely, fun. Absolutely. Let's take one last look. Let's see. You are currently... I am not as used to doing this as I'm not as polished as Shay and Sci. But you are currently sitting at 2,896 and 60 backers. 6 days left. Oh man, you're just a little over $1,000. Like,
yeah, it feels so close. I'm like, can I do it?
$1,204. Come on, y'all.
Support it. It's a badass book. You won't be disappointed.
Yeah, I mean,
you're a big fan of the X-Men, Resident Evil, Battle Chasers, and the twists and turns of Game of Thrones. You're going to love Chaotic Flux.
And you can pick up all 3 issues all at once. And also you get metallic prints and cards and all kinds of cool stuff. I
mean, if I don't, you know, if it doesn't hit it in the 6 days, I can extend. But I will say too that regardless of us hitting the goal, even after the extension, which I'm pretty sure is going to get, but if it doesn't, anything can happen.
Yeah.
Regardless, everything is going to get made. Everything is going to get shipped out. So it doesn't matter.
Well,
I did that with the first campaign. The second campaign did get fully funded, and went over. But you know, there's no fear for this campaign. You will get everything no matter what. Excellent. That is a good guarantee to have. So no matter what, ladies and gentlemen, you will get your books because that's what it's all about. Customer service, and that's what we love. It's looking good. It's looking really good. I should mention that earlier. That the book will be done in late May and shipped out. So there's very little wait on this guy. Wow. Yeah, because the book is very close to being finished. Yeah, I actually just got page 24 today, and there's 30 pages. So you know, we're almost there. 6 pages to go, and it's done. Wow. So like you got a finished page? Is that what you mean? Yeah. My artist sent me the page 24 today. Yeah. So that's awesome. Yep. All coming together, man. Well, do what the frog says. Do it. Do it. Back it. Do it now. Chaotic Flux number 3. Dude delivers. Trust the Frog G. He knows of which he speaks. Thank you, Frog G. Seriously, Frog G's always on top of it, paying attention to the different campaigns and slinging the links. Securio says, Sword of the Mantis. Sword of the Mantis is a samurai book that I'm making, so now I'm hooked for Berserker Samurai. Awesome. See, there you go. You've already got the hype train started. I mean, that's you know what? In one of the future issues, you could toss a little teaser in for Berserker Samurai. Right. Yep. Seriously, that's a really good idea. I might do that in this one. I've been trying to, because the way being that it's 30 pages, you know how comics print, I'm gonna have some extra pages I got to put stuff in.
Sure.
And
I mean, and it just a pin up
right there. That's an excellent idea to put a little ad in
just
there
to pin up little teaser,
coming.
little taste.
Yep.
You know, with the logo, boom, done. That's all you gotta do. You know.
Yep.
Seriously.
Hell yeah, great idea.
All right, y'all. Well, thank you so much for coming to hang out, and we will see ya later.
Bye.